While the world has been battling a pandemic, there is yet another problem that people are facing, which is the spread of fake news. It seems that more and more fake news has been made and spread across the globe with the help of social media. One of the most shocking news that came forward was that the martial artist Chuck Norris had passed away at the age of 77. We're here to tell you that's not true. In fact, Chuck is very much alive and well.
Rumor had it you were dead.
Yeah, I heard that too. So how's life treating you?
While he hasn't been seen on our screens for quite some time, it's not because he's dead. The action star has had to face his worst nightmare as his beloved wife has been fighting for her life. Stay with us while we unravel the tragic reason why the legendary Chuck Norris disappeared from our screens. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell too. Did you know Chuck Norris can have both feet on the ground and kick butt at the same time? Imagine being known as the unbeatable man, the action hero for millions all over the world. Well, Chuck Norris doesn't have to imagine because he is that guy. When God said, "Let there be light," Chuck said, "Say please." And the rest is history. Unfortunately, there has been one thing that seems to be an almost impossible battle for the 80-year-old actor. His wife, Gina O'Kelly, was given an injection for a routine MRI exam for her rheumatoid arthritis. They had no idea that this injection carried extreme risks that could cause horrific side effects. Gina started to suffer from nerve pain and kidney problems, and soon both their lives took a turn for the worst. I'd given up my film career to concentrate on Gina. My whole life right now is about keeping her alive. I believe this issue is so important. For the first time ever, Norris opened up about the suffering that he and his family have been going through behind closed doors, hoping that it would spread awareness to others. Gina revealed that in 2013, she was given 3 injections of an MRI contracting agent over 8 days, which led to a burning sensation all over her body. She felt she was on fire. His wife said, "The burning was isolated at first, but it just kept spreading. I just lay in bed on an IV for 5 months and had to have round-the-clock nursing care. Chuck slept beside me on the couch and never left. I prayed that I would live to raise my children." The side effect from the injection is incredibly rare and affects only 10% of patients.
That she developed gadolinium deposition disease, with symptoms including burning pain, violent shaking, and confusion, along with kidney damage.
Gina had no idea what was happening to her body and endured endless tests while doctors tried to find out what was wrong with her. The injections had poisoned her body, which resulted in breathing problems, muscle weakness, and joint pain. Before this, I was a vibrant person. In fact, I'd say my health and fitness levels would have put me in the top 10% of people in the world back then, said Gina. Chuck put everything aside to take care of his wife, and this included his movie career. Since launching his acting career, the martial artist has starred in more than 40 films and TV shows, with his most famous character as Cordell Walker in the TV series Walker, Texas Ranger. However, his start to life was not as bright as his future. The martial artist described his childhood as a very difficult one. His father was an alcoholic, and he was always embarrassed by his drinking.
The thing too is that, my dad would leave for months on end, and we wouldn't see him for 4 or 5 months, and then he'd show up. And when he did show up, he was drunk the whole time.
In order to not draw attention from his father, who would lash out cruelly towards young Chuck, he became quiet and shy. His schoolwork was also affected by what was happening at home, so he was never able to thrive academically. Chuck knew he never wanted that kind of life for himself. He didn't want to be like his father, and he wanted to be able to stand up for himself and others who couldn't defend themselves.
Come back in here. I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for that.
In 1958, Norris enlisted in the United States Air Force. It was during this time in the Army that he got nicknamed Chuck. This might come as a shock to you, but his birth name is actually Carlos Ray Norris. The nickname was here to stay, and he was known from then on as Chuck Norris. It wasn't only the film industry that he was interested in. Chuck wanted to help society with everything that he had learned from martial arts. He decided to open several youth combat leagues to help homeless teenagers get off the streets and gain control of their lives. He also wrote self-help motivational books and actively gave to charity so that he could give back to the community that helped make him so successful. The actor had also been married to someone else before he met Gina. In 1958, Norris, who was 18 at the time, tied the knot with his high school sweetheart Diane, who was 17. In 1962, the couple welcomed their first son, Mike, and a second son, Eric, 2 years later. Unfortunately, the bliss of their marriage soon came to an end after Diane found out that Chuck had cheated on her with a woman named Joanna. After having been married for 30 years, the high school sweethearts divorced in 1989. Chuck had no idea that during his affair with Joanna, she had fallen pregnant. It was only 26 years later that he was approached by Joanne's daughter, Diane, and she told him that he was her father. Joanna didn't want her daughter to know that Chuck was her father and had tried to keep it a secret from her. It wasn't until Diane found out by accident that the legendary martial artist was her dad. No one could have imagined the shock that Chuck felt, knowing that for almost 30 years he had a daughter that he couldn't be there for. The couple met each other after Norris spotted Gina, who was a model at the time, while he was on another date. He couldn't take his eyes off of Gina, and he knew he had to learn more about her. He then asked his agent to set a date with her, and despite their 23-year age difference, the couple quickly became friends. Soon after, the pair fell in love and were inseparable. They married in 1998 and had 2 beautiful children together. For 5 months, Norris never left his wife's bedside. She was bedridden and in constant pain and connected to IV medication to help her recover from the toxins in her body. It was an incredibly difficult time for his family. The actor feared for his wife's life, and he had no idea if she would ever recover.
I can take her anywhere in the world. I'm blessed enough to have the money to do that. But where do I take her?
Seeing his wife in so much pain was heartbreaking for him, and it's something that he'll never be able to forget. Chuck knew that he didn't want anyone else to ever have to experience the trauma that his family had gone through, so his family decided to take legal action against the hospital. His family sought more than $10 million in damages, stating that hospitals should have warned patients of the risks involved. Gina also said they were single-mindedly hoping to find the truth behind what had really caused her illness. It's infuriating and heartbreaking. It's a vicious, ugly secret that has been kept hidden, something Chuck and I are determined to change. Unfortunately, the couple lost the case, but they were able to spread awareness that they wanted, and as a precautionary measure, the injections that were used on Gina were taken off the market. Since the shocking health scare, Gina is back on her feet, and although she still suffers from some chronic pain, she's no longer bedridden and is able to continue with her life.
And we don't have much time to figure out how to get this out of my body, or I'm going to die.
I can take her anywhere in the world.
Chuck has also made a small comeback to our screens as a feature in the Hawaii Five-0 TV series. The couple has moved on with their lives and are focusing on spending time together with their family. They have a whopping $70 million net worth, so they never have to work another day in their lives if they don't want to. While Chuck Norris fans are secretly praying for a comeback of the Walker Texas Ranger, they're relieved to know that no matter what is thrown in his direction, he's still unbeatable.